Okay, let's take a look now specifically at different types of angles. Make sure you take notes on this. Types of angles: an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees. A right angle, and it usually has this little symbol right there in the corner, or the vertex, is actually equal to 90 degrees. Obtuse lies between 90 degrees and 180, where a straight angle is exactly equal to 180 degrees. So humans have jaws that can open to about 45 degrees. What type of angle is that? Well, 45 degrees would look something like this. And we see that is less than 90 degrees. So this is an acute angle. Okay, you do this one. A bird's beak can open to about 80 degrees. What kind of angle is this? Since it's less than 90 degrees, you would find that it is acute. Now we can use what we know about the types of angles and classify triangles according to their angles. So if your triangle has all acute angles, every single one, then it's an acute triangle. If it has one obtuse, it is an obtuse triangle. If it has one right angle, it's a right triangle. Now, besides classifying triangles by their angles, we can also classify them by their sides. So scalene has no congruent sides, where congruent means the same measure. So all of these sides have different lengths. And we'll show that here by putting a different little hash mark. There's one hash mark on that one, 2 on this other side, and 3 on the other side. That shows that none of them are congruent. Now an isosceles, kind of like an icicle, has exactly 2 congruent sides. Equilateral, which reminds me of the word equal, because of the beginning part of the word, has all sides congruent. So we can take a look at a triangle, and we can classify it by both its angles and by its sides. So looking at just the angles here, I see there's 2 acute, but most importantly, there's 1 obtuse angle. That makes it an obtuse triangle. Okay, what about the sides? Well, actually, I can put these marks on there so it's more obvious, but all 3 sides are different measurements. They are not congruent. So we would say that it is scalene. So take a look at this triangle. We have 2 angles that are acute, but most importantly, there is one 90-degree angle, or one right angle. That makes it a right triangle. How about according to its sides? Well, see this little mark right there, and this one right there. So there are 2 sides that are congruent, or of the same measure, which makes it that isosceles one, the one that's kind of like an icicle. Okay, pause the video and classify this triangle by both its angles and by its sides. Well, since there is one obtuse angle, it's automatically obtuse. And since none of the sides are congruent, it is scalene. Classify this triangle by its angles and its sides. Looking at the angles, we can see that all 3 of the angles are less than 90 degrees, so it is an acute triangle. And since all 3 of the sides are congruent, it's the equilateral triangle.